Hello everyone. I invite you to continue our series of calm reflections on the book Our Home, written by André Luiz, a spiritual narrative about life after death, responsibility, and the maturation of consciousness through work. Chapter 44 is titled, Darkness. It is one of the most philosophical and at the same time deeply moving chapters in this part of the book. It does not describe great events or dramatic scenes. Instead, it presents a quiet conversation in which André Luiz begins to understand one of the most difficult truths of spiritual life. The truth about the existence of the lowest spiritual regions, what in the spiritual world are called the darkness. After the previous events, André Luiz spends some peaceful time with Lísias. The atmosphere is joyful and harmonious. Music, conversation, and the friendly presence of other spirits create a feeling of deep peace. Lísias plays the zither, recalling old songs and melodies from earth. For André, it becomes a day filled with spiritual emotion. In moments like these, it becomes even clearer how valuable it is for souls to meet in friendship and goodness. Lísias then explains something very important. When many souls gather around the same work or ideal, their thoughts begin to unite. They create a shared field of energy. From this collective vibration, each participant receives a part. If love, hope, and brotherhood prevail, the environment strengthens goodness. But if egoism, vanity, or violence dominate, a poisonous spiritual atmosphere emerges. This law applies both to the spiritual world and to life on earth. The environment in which we live has a profound influence on our thoughts and emotions. Communities built on understanding and love may resemble the threshold of heaven. But places filled with hatred and conflict can become a living hell even during earthly life. During this conversation, André remembers something that has been troubling him. In the governor's speech there was mention of three regions: Earth, Umbral, and the darkness. André already knows much about Umbral. He himself spent long years in that region of suffering and confusion. But what exactly are the darkness? The question fills him with unease. So he asks Lísias for clarification. Lísias answers very seriously. The darkness, he explains, are the lowest spiritual regions known to the inhabitants of the colony. To make this easier to understand, he uses a simple comparison. Let us imagine spirits as travelers on a journey through life. A few walk directly toward their destination. These are souls who have discovered the divine element within themselves and follow the path of goodness without hesitation. But most people stop along the way. They repeat the same experiences, return to old mistakes, and wander in the labyrinth of their own choices. This is how the regions of Umbral arise, places of confusion and suffering. They are inhabited by souls who have lost their way, but who may still seek the path back. However, there are other cases. There are spirits who consciously choose evil. Instead of moving toward the light, they deepen egoism, hatred, and cruelty. Little by little they move farther away from goodness. Their own choices lead them ever deeper downward. This is what is meant by the darkness. It is not merely a place. It is a state of consciousness in which the spirit voluntarily turns away from the light. André then asks another question. Do such falls occur only on earth? Can only incarnated human beings fall so low? Lísias replies that in every spiritual sphere there exists the possibility of falling. The difference lies only in the degree of responsibility. The higher the level of development, the greater the awareness, and therefore the more serious the consequences of error. This reminder shows that physical death does not automatically make anyone perfect. The spirit carries with it exactly what it truly is. Lísias also explains something else. Many people imagine life after death only as a path upward. But in reality, there are also directions that lead downward. The spiritual universe is vast and complex. Just as life exists on the surface of the earth, in the depths of the oceans, and within underground layers, so too are there many levels of spiritual existence. The spirit follows the law of attraction. It is drawn to environments that correspond to its own thoughts, feelings, and actions. A soul burdened by guilt cannot rise easily toward higher spheres. Like a bird caught in dense undergrowth, unable to fly freely. The heavier the spiritual burden, the harder it becomes to ascend toward the light. That is why some souls remain bound to the lowest regions of existence. Not because someone condemned them there, but because they are not yet able to rise higher. At the end of the conversation, Lísias speaks words that deeply move André. Just as every human being carries both higher and lower tendencies within themselves, the planet also contains regions of light and shadow. Some areas help correct mistakes. Others open the path toward eternal life. But the direction always depends on the choices of the spirit itself. Chapter 44 reminds us of several important truths. That our thoughts and emotions create the environment in which we live. That the spirit follows the law of attraction of similar vibrations. That Umbral is a region of confusion, but still allows the possibility of return. While the darkness represents a state of profound separation from goodness. And that every human being, through their own choices, determines the direction of their journey. This is a very reflective chapter. It shows that spiritual life is not merely a reward after death. It is the consequence of what we cultivate within ourselves right now. And it leaves us with an important question. What kind of environment do we create through our thoughts and emotions? And where do our daily choices truly lead us? In the next chapter, André Luiz will continue discovering the laws of spiritual life in the colony. The journey continues. See you soon.